Hey guys, I'm Eitan.
And I'm Naor.
And we're the Two Nice Jewish Boys from the Two Nice Jewish Boys podcast. And today we're going to be reacting to
Netflix's new groundbreaking category.
Yeah.
Which is
Palestinian Stories.
Palestinian Stories.
Apparently, Netflix added a new category to their movies called Palestinian Stories, where you can see great movies telling the honest tales of, tragedy and suffering of the Palestinian people.
Because they're the victims, obviously.
Yes.
We're the bad guys. They're the good guys. You know how it is.
So we're going to take a look at some of them. We'll read some of the descriptions. Maybe we'll watch a bit and we'll react.
Look, who knows? Maybe there are some pro-Israeli movies there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a story about how dozens of Gazans come to Israeli hospitals and their lives are being saved by Israeli doctors. No? Okay.
Let's jump in.
Yeah.
You want to search?
Yeah. Palestinian Stories.
All right. The Crossing.
No, so it'll just hit the category.
Let's hit
It's an official Netflix category, guys.
Titles related to Palestinian stories.
Okay, so what do we have here?
The first one is called Omar.
Okay, what is that about?
With his girlfriend Nadia living on the other side of an Israeli-built boundary wall. Young Palestinian Omar regularly scales it to visit her.
I'm sure they're gonna tell the story of why this wall was built, right? Like the premise.
No, it was built in order to cage in innocent Palestinians.
Of course.
Into
the wall,
open-air prison.
The wall was built, guys, because Palestinian terrorists kept exploding in buses. And
Not spontaneously, but on purpose.
Yeah.
They went on the buses and they blew themselves up, or they took weapons and did, shootings and killed innocent civilians in Israel. So Israel needed to find some solution. And the truth is the wall worked really well.
Yeah, it still does. It still works.
Terrorism. There's not much terrorism going on in Israel.
Yeah, on the other side of the wall, you have our enemies who want to kill us. That's the idea, so that we won't get murdered.
Omar can't see his girlfriend.
Well, apparently he crosses the border illegally to visit her and thus committing a criminal crime.
Then he gets caught by Israeli police, and you have material for another movie. How Omar gets jailed for just visiting his girlfriend.
Yeah, that's the sequel.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
Omar 2 coming to theaters.
Omar
near
2.
You.
Being tortured in Israel. Yeah.
Salt of the Sea.
Okay, that
a
sounds
Palestinian
romantic.
American woman travels to her homeland to retrieve her grandfather's savings, which had been frozen since his exile during the Nakba. So the Nakba is...
How many lies can you put in one sentence? Let's play a game. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lies.
Every word.
Yeah.
The Nakba is what the Palestinians call Israel's Independence Day. Basically the day that we defended the land of Israel and took over and made a country here and established a country. That for them is a great tragedy.
In a war they started.
Yes, in a war they started. Basically what happened quickly is that the UN announced a partition plan that would divide the state of Israel. The Jews celebrated, the Arabs hated it, they revolted, and they attacked. A bunch of Arab nations attacked Israel, started the War of Independence.
Including
what
the
became the War of Independence
themselves.
Yeah, including the Palestinians themselves. And Israel took over. Now, the idea of them being exiled is not exactly accurate. Many of them left voluntarily. Many of them were moved out of their homes because it was a war zone and you don't want to leave Palestinians in your wake because the Palestinians were attacking the Israeli army. But anyway, that's what they call Israel's Independence Day. They call it the Nakba.
Yeah, for them it's a mourning day.
Yeah. And they believe that for some reason, after attacking Israel, they can come back and claim their right of return.
That's not how wars and winning wars work.
Yeah, I honestly don't know why her grandfather's savings weren't put to better use before this. Why were they frozen? We should have built like a bridge with them or something.
Yeah,
honestly, spoils of war.
Maybe we'll cut this out.
No, we're not cutting it. Your grandfather's savings are ours now. Frontiers of Dreams and Fears. This documentary explores the enduring friendship that involves between two Palestinian girls in refugee camps, one in Beirut, the other in Bethlehem.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay. Take a big breath here.
Yeah. What is wrong with this sentence?
So the Palestinians are the only people whose refugee status is inherited. Any other nation in the world, you're a refugee for one generation, and then basically the next generation who was born in that given state is now
not a refugee anymore.
Yeah, no, the refugee.
Refugee status is not inherited. And seeing that this film was made in 2001, that means 53 years after the foundation of Israel, meaning 2.5, even 3 generations can fit into that. So this is the granddaughter, at best, of a refugee from the War of Independence in Israel.
Yeah, now where do they live? One is living in Lebanon. So instead of making a documentary about why the hell do Palestinians still suffer from
secondhand citizenship in Lebanon? Why are they not absorbed into the Lebanese society?
Yeah.
Why doesn't she have Lebanese citizenship?
They live like dogs in those refugee camps. They are being discriminated against. They cannot own property. They suffer from loads of restrictions. Why don't they make a documentary about that? I wonder.
Hezbollah reigning terror over Lebanon, a terrorist organization ruling over Lebanon and basically suppressing the Palestinian refugees living in the refugee camp in Beirut. Why is that? The story.
And then you have the Bethlehem refugee camp. Now, Bethlehem is in A territories. It's under the
Palestinian Authority.
So why do they still live in the refugee camp?
Yeah.
Why? It's because the Palestinian leadership prefers them to suffer and live like dogs, just to preserve the narrative of we are refugees, one day we will return. Instead of coming and being sincere with the population and tell them, listen guys, you will never ever return to your homes. And so let's instead
build a future.
Yeah, let's build a future with what we have, and let's leave those camps, and let's use all those billions of funds that we get from the EU to build,
and from America and from Qatar.
Yeah, to build our new nation. No, instead they steal the money for their own use, and they let their people live in refugee camps, although they are almost completely they rule this land almost completely.
Yeah. The lie of refugee camps is one of the biggest travesties that exist. It's honestly an atrocity that's being committed by the Palestinian people, and no one really talks about it.
Yep.
Let's see.
Samuni Road.
Samuni Road.
What is that?
What is that?
I haven't heard of it.
Using recreated live action, animated, and drone footage, this film captures the tragedy that struck a Palestinian family of farmers during the Gaza War.
Oh,
I don't know which
tragedy.
Gaza war they're talking about.
There were so many.
Yeah.
First, second, third, fourth. Maybe by the time this video is published, there will be the fifth. I guess the tragedy is that they live under the dictatorship of Hamas, which rather steal funds and use it for terror.
The tragedy is probably that they teach their children anti-Semitism and from kindergarten age.
To hate Jews.
To hate Jews and to,
dream
kill
about
the Jew and
one day we shall return, the whole
that's probably
land is
the
ours.
Tragedy, right?
Maybe.
No, the tragedy is probably that their house got blown up by an Israeli plane or by an Israeli bomb.
And that usually happens for one of two reasons. Reason number one, terrorists are using your building as a safe haven.
Yeah, and sometimes have asked you and your family, and by ask I mean basically forced you to stay in the building so that there will be civilian casualties so that they can, print them on the front page of the New York Times.
Alternatively, the Hamas uses kindergarten and school, UN schools as rocket launching stations, and thus forcing Israel to bomb those places.
I mean, guys, come on, wake up. This is the modern version of blood libels, okay? This is exactly, I mean, if you didn't realize it when the New York Times printed the face of a child that wasn't even killed, right? They printed the face of a child on the front page of the New York Times as a baby that was murdered by Israel, and she wasn't even dead. If you didn't get it from that, the whole narrative around the Palestinian-Israeli conflict is the new version of the blood libels. Is Jews are killing Christian babies to take their blood and put it in matzahs. No one buys that anymore, so we need a new story.
I do love my blood matzah.
Yeah, blood matzah is great.
It's delicious.
This is the new version, basically. No one buys that old version, so now we have to have a new narrative, and the new narrative is that Israel is a monster and they oppress these innocent people, and they bombard them with bombs and attacks and war and oppression for no reason, because Jews are evil, right? That's basically the subtext of all of these stories. Jews are evil. Look at the evil things they're doing. This is an entire section of Netflix dedicated to blood libels.
A world not ours. The intimate portrait of 3 generations of exiles at Ain al-Hilwa, Palestinian refugee camp in Lebanon, uses personal recordings and family archives. Again, with that lie, 3 generations of exiles. There's no such thing. You're not exiles.
Yeah.
You're not. You are Lebanese now.
Not by international law.
It's just pathetic. Okay.
Pomegranates and myrrh. After her husband is placed under Israeli detention, a Palestinian newlywed is left to deal with the fallout, resorting to her passion for dabke to cope. What is dabke? Like
I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's a dance.
Dabke is a dance.
Yeah. Dabke. It's a traditional Middle Eastern dance.
Like, you have to wonder at some point, does it not stick out to anybody that the only thing, like, all Palestinian stories, because it's Palestinian stories.
Yeah.
So basically, this should be sort of a cross-sectional representation of Palestinian society and culture and the stories they have to tell.
They're all crybaby stories.
They're all stories about how Israel is evil and the Palestinian people are suffering some sort of damage after, the Israelis did something to them or their family or their ancestors or whatever. There's no story here of, a Palestinian policeman or a Palestinian bank robbery or a Palestinian superhero, or there's nothing. Like, there's just... We are the Palestinians, the Israelis are evil. The Israelis, by the way, is code word for the Jews, are, evil
murdering,
evil murdering oppressors, and poor us. Like, no one's waking up to that fact. It's just crazy. Like, here's one with a giraffe. Maybe there's a different story there.
Okay, the girafada. The girafada, it's like intifada of the giraffes.
Oh, man, I can't believe it got past me. Girafada. After an air raid kills a male giraffe in the West Bank's only zoo, a vet and his son embark on a journey to find a companion for the surviving mate. It's like,
wait a minute. Wait.
Oh my God.
When the hell was the last time the West Bank was even air raided? An air raid in the West Bank? An air raid? We never bombed. We never bombed the West Bank.
Oh my God.
We never.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice that.
We never bombed. We only bombed Gaza. We never bombed it. Never. What the?
Yeah, wow, that's just crazy.
Right?
Yeah. We didn't even have to watch a movie to catch him at a lie.
Amazing.
Yeah, so Israel never bombed the West Bank. The West Bank is totally like intermingled, Palestinians and Israeli settlements. So it would be extremely difficult to air raid or bomb from the air.
This one seems nice. Bonbon.
With her husband detained in an Israeli prison, a Palestinian woman crafts a daring plan to turn their no-contact encounter into a sweet exchange. Oh my God.
Give me another one. Give me another one. Ghost hunting.
Formerly detained in an Israeli interrogation center, a group of Palestinian men address trauma by reenacting their stories of capture and torture. Amid the despair of Nazareth, where war has eroded the sense of community, love blossoms despite checkpoints and this comedy tinged with pathos. It's like there's just no end to it, The Crossing. The three Palestinian siblings eagerly attempt to visit their bedridden grandfather who resides on the other side of the separation wall. Condom led. Let's see what this is. In a parody of the Gaza war, a married Palestinian couple's attempts at intimacy are repeatedly interrupted by the deafening noise of Israeli shelling. It's like even their comedies are about us bombing them. Jesus.
Most of those movies, guys, are funded by European money.
Yeah.
So basically, the same guys who murdered us or participated in exterminating the Jews, now they're funding this propaganda. Antisemitic propaganda. Okay, guys, this is our reaction video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe here down below. If you liked what you saw and you want to support us, there's an easy way to do it right now. Tell them, Eitan.
You can now buy your own beautiful mug. I feel like I'm on the shopping channel. You can get either BDS tiers, or you can get Nice Jewish Boy, to njb.com/merch. Get your own mug. They're must-haves, okay?
The beverage just tastes better, right? Show them.
Yeah, it does. It's amazing.
Breathe those tears.
Just so good. So, yeah, you put this on your desk at work, and, it just starts really great conversation.
Especially if you work in the UN. You put this on your desk, the next day you're out.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the podcast, go to Spotify, Two Nice Jewish Boys, and subscribe. See you on the next one.
Bye.